This is take number 2. Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Chi and I'm back here today with another YouTube video that will show you the general tips to plan your travels to Vietnam if you are planning or if you are already in Vietnam. And I know that there's already better YouTube videos that gives you tips and tricks on how to go to Vietnam and what do you need to do when you're traveling to Vietnam. But as a person who was born there and lived there for 13 years of my life and I just went back recently, I feel like I can give you some more, updated tips on what you should do when you go to Vietnam. I feel like it would be really helpful and beneficial. So I do hope that you like this video and I hope that it will help you just a little bit more on planning your trip to Vietnam or traveling or what you should do when you get there. So I've divided the category into 2. One is what you should do before you go to Vietnam and what you should do while you're in Vietnam. So let's get started with before you go to Vietnam. Number 1, you should consider how you would want to pack your suitcase. Depends on the season, depends on the days. You don't have to pack as much big and huge, really thick coats for a few weeks trips in Vietnam. You don't need to pack a lot, pack enough for yourself, but the thing is that you can easily buy clothes, buy shoes, t-shirts, pants, and socks anywhere in Vietnam that you want because people sell them on the street. People sell it everywhere and you can get it for really cheap, really cheap. Okay, number 2, prepare mask. You can get mask in Vietnam as well, by the way. For this reason is because when I went back to Vietnam a month ago, it was really polluted. That's what I'm kind of sad about because Vietnam is a beautiful country. The cities there and everything, it's beautiful, but pollution has become a really big problem after COVID kind of ended. This is due to because of how much construction they're building, not in the main city but kind of outside of that. They're building a lot of buildings and that causes a lot of pollution into the air, and sadly enough I have to walk around the city always having a mask on. Just wear a mask. It's essential. Okay, number 3, you should prepare to wear comfortable clothing and shoes. If you're in Vietnam and your purpose is to travel and see places, I recommend sport shoes all time. Sneakers, comfortable clothing, clothes that you're easily can change out of if you're really cold, really hot. Be comfortable in and breathe in because you will go a lot of places. You will walk a lot of places. So that's my number 3. You should always do your research before traveling and you should know where you want to go, where you what you want to do. So let's move on to what you should do while you're in Vietnam. So traveling in Vietnam, you should always be up to try food and Vietnamese cuisines because it's amazing. Why not? That's my number 1. Just try the cuisines because there's a lot of them. There's varieties of different food, meal, different kind of noodles, whatever that. It's worth it. It's cheap. It's yummy. I do think when you're having street food, do consider where you're having it and do you consider the clean environment around that shop, around that restaurant. If you get recommended by a local or a friend, you should always try them out. Go to that place, see what you can eat, see what you want to eat, and try it out because it's really yummy and it's worth it. If you're traveling to Vietnam and you don't try any of the food, that's just really disappointing. Why are you even there? Okay, number 2, do visit the temples, do visit the landmarks in Vietnam because it's part of our culture. And I know that temples and pagodas, like a lot of other countries have them, and there's like probably way more beautiful, but like it's part of our culture. It's incredible to think how us as people was able to build them with our bare hands. So I would think it's worth it to go visit the temples. And if you're in Hanoi specifically, you should go to the Mausoleum of Ho Chi Minh, because he's an important figure in Vietnam history, and that's one of the places that I would recommend going to if you are like wanting to learn about Vietnamese culture, Vietnamese history. Just go to places, you know. Okay, I don't remember if this is number 2 or 3. 3. Is this 3? So from that point beyond, do look out for motorbikes, do look out for cars. Like, we do have sidewalks, but you would have to be really careful, and it's really like narrow, so look out for it. When you are walking in a crowded space and area, do secure your bags. Look out for your very like important items, phone, wallet. It is easily to get stolen, get robbed. It's easily crowded, and people will do that. I know people do that like everywhere. Look after your bags. Look after your friends, your partner, the people who are you traveling with. Be aware of where you're walking to. Be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of your surroundings. That's what I would say. And especially when you're traveling to somewhere that you might not have traveled before, become aware. Okay, so I just had a pause and I went up onto Google to, search some tips and tricks on what the internet is actually recommending you to do. Here are the things that I do believe it is true. First of all is that learn some Vietnamese, because it's part of our culture, it's part of, our people, it's the language. We use the alphabet, which makes it easier for you to learn about. But generally, if you don't have time for it, if you do speak in English and through gestures, Vietnamese people understand it incredibly fast. I don't know how people do it, but when I went back to Vietnam a month ago, I've seen this happen. Essentially, through gestures, people in Vietnam understand English to a certain level, and they would understand what you're trying to say. I don't know how to do it, but they can do it. The next tip I saw on the internet is do not directly consume water out of taps in Vietnam. It just hasn't really been verified of how clean and available the water is to be consumed. So with that, prepare your own water. Always bring water with you to know where the source of water you're getting from. When you go into a restaurant, it's not a normal thing for people to give you water for free. In Australia, I've seen it as you go into a restaurant and water is free because you get it out from taps. But in Vietnam, even if you ask the people for a glass of water, it will be counted into your bill afterwards. So do be aware of that, do be mindful of that you have your own water, you are going to pay for water, because they would not give you water for free. The next thing is you should try to go on a motorbike, because it's an experience, and Vietnam has so many ways of transportation that is really unique and really culturally significant. You know those little trolley things? I'm gonna put a picture here, I hope. They can bring you around the whole town on that trolley, and it fits 2 people, and it's really fun. So you should always try, go on a motorbike, travel around, do wear a helmet, please. Those round coconut boats on those trolley, it's fun, it's an experience, and I do believe you should take the time to have that kind of experience. But yeah, otherwise, have fun on your trip. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you have a fun time going to Vietnam, and it's enjoy your time. Vietnam is a worthy place to go to, and these are just some of the awareness that I think you should be aware of, tips, tricks, whatever. But yeah, I hope you like this video, and I'll make more videos.